secret to tell, I am not in Russia at the moment, and that's because during the next few weeks I am traveling around Europe, and at the moment I'm in Mykonos in Greece with my family, and next week I'll be in France with Luke's family. So I thought for this week's video I would take this opportunity to answer some questions from you guys about living in Russia, about learning Russian and that sort of thing, while I explore Mykonos town and show you around, because I have actually been here around 13-14 times, because this is kind of the destination my family go to every single year when I was growing up, from before I was even born to when I was like 13 or 14 years old. So I know the area quite well and I'm very excited to show you guys. Regarding travelling around Europe as a Brit, it's really not that uncommon to go to different countries in Europe, because it's really easy to travel because the UK has like special agreements with European countries, even though we've left the EU now. And also it's basically the same price than travelling around the UK. And this is really different, I know, from Russia, because Russians usually travel within Russia. I mean, it's such a big country and there's so much to look at. So the Brits' mentality of travelling to Europe instead of within their own country is quite different compared to Russians, I think. It's so windy right now, I hope you can hear me okay. It's such like a nice breeze in real life, but it's not great for filming. It's actually like 36 degrees today, which is crazy. But let's move on to some questions, because I know that's what you really came here to hear. So the first question I got was, does your mum watch your YouTube channel and give you advice on how to live in Russia? Maybe she wants to say hello to someone in Russia via your channel or say something for the Russian audience. So I'm not actually with my mum right now because she's sunbathing on the beach, and I took a bus from the beach here just to film this video. So she can't say anything right now, but my mum does watch my videos, of course. She likes watching them. Also, because I don't speak to my family every single day, I probably speak to them every 2 days or every 3 days. They don't know every single part of my life, so when I film stuff and upload it to my channel, they love getting like a glimpse into my life in Russia. And also they just see stuff that I wouldn't necessarily tell them anyway, you know? Like, I'm not going to tell them every single aspect of my day and of an event, so they really enjoy looking at it. And of course my mum likes it as well. And if you don't know already, I'm actually half Russian and half American, so my mum is Russian. She's from just outside of St. Petersburg. She hasn't been there in a long time. I think she hasn't been there in like 16 years, which is crazy. But regarding giving me advice about living in Russia, she doesn't do too much of that, because first of all, she was really young when she left, and it's been a long time and things have changed since then. Also, I'm living in Moscow, whereas she was living in a small town outside of St. Petersburg, and that's kind of different as well, living in the city versus a town. The next question is, are you planning to stay here in Moscow for a long time? This is a very good question, and I get asked this all the time, and I don't actually know the answer to it. That's the short answer. Because I basically moved to Russia to be with Luke, because he moved to Russia to study a master's program in Moscow, and I came with him because obviously it's nicer to be together than doing a long distance relationship. But he's got 1 more year of his master's program, and then after that he'll be applying for internships and jobs in Russia as well as elsewhere, for example in France and the UK. But our preference is to stay in Russia, but maybe we'll move to St. Petersburg, who knows. But it's an exciting time, and I look forward to wherever we move to or wherever we stay. But yeah, I'm very excited to go back to Russia because I'm already missing it being here. In Mykonos there are so many stray cats. They're like everywhere. They're adorable. Look. Previous years, I'd say there was a more of a mix of different like nationalities that were visiting Mykonos, but this year I would say like 80% of people that have come here are Italian, which is so cool, because as some of you might know, if you just like scroll down my channel a bit, I used to live in Italy and I speak a little bit of Italian, so I spent literally like 2 days with this group of Italians and I was like speaking Italian. It was so cool. Didn't even feel like I was in Greece, which was so strange. And yesterday my family met this Russian couple couple who were sitting next to us on the beach, and I took the opportunity to practice my Russian because I agreed with Luke that when we go back to Moscow we're only going to be speaking Russian to each other, which is quite a challenge. I have been working really hard though on my Russian. I have been reading for like 30 minutes a day, speaking for maybe 30 minutes, an hour a day. I've been trying to speak lots with my mum, as well as memorizing 10 Russian words a day. So if you're wondering on what I'm doing Russian wise, that is what. Unfortunately, the Wi-Fi here at our beach hasn't been very good, so I kind of had to put a hold on it when I'm here, which is a shame, but I'm still talking to my mum in Russian here and there. Obviously not all the time because my brother and my dad don't speak Russian, so we don't really leave them out of all of our conversations. But yeah, that is what I'm doing for practice, and whenever I hear Russian I'm trying to talk to them and practice. Look how cute these baby clothes are. Oh my days, they're adorable. My dad's actually got this t-shirt, obviously bigger than this, but they're so cute. I love the clothes here. I definitely want to buy something before I go. They're just so light, and I think they're all cotton as well. Yeah, 100% cotton. I tried to take a nice photo and it's so windy, so my hair just does this. so windy. Someone asked, how much money do you need per month to live in Moscow? I actually did a price breakdown in a different video. It's called The Cost of Living in Russia. I'll put the link in the description. But just to give you a cost, like straight up, for two of us, because I don't know about one person because I've never lived in Moscow on my own, for two of us it probably costs like around £800, £750, so maybe around 80,000 rubles, 75,000 rubles, including some travel to maybe another city, food, rent, all of that, probably around 80,000 rubles for two people. Is what things do you miss most about the UK? I've probably said this quite a few times, but it's probably the food. I just prefer the texture and taste of like meats and cheeses in the UK, as well as the like foods from different countries in the UK too. For example, like pizzas in Russia. I personally hate pizzas in Russia. I think they taste nothing like the pizzas in Italy, so that's the reason I don't really like the food in Russia. But other than that, there's not too many differences. I also miss just like the looks of the buildings in London than compared to Moscow, because I think in Moscow they're kind of, I don't know, like cheaper looking, whereas in London I think they're more beautiful, more elegant. But other than that, you guys know I love Russia and Moscow, so I'm not bashing anything, just a little comparison. Someone said, do you have a brother or sister? If it's not a secret, what are they doing? Yes, I do actually have a brother. His name is Ilya, which is also a Russian name. My name's actually Katerina. I just shortened it down to Kat. But yeah, my brother's name is Ilya and he's 16 years old. He's very, very clever. I've done a few videos with him in the past, to be honest, when he was much younger, like probably 12 years old or like 9 years old. We did some videos back in the day. I'll put them in the description if you're curious. They're quite funny. You will probably cringe. I cringe at watching them, but yeah, if you're interested. But he runs like a business, so he fixes like phones and like different electronic devices. He's really into tech. He's studying computer science and maths and further maths for A-levels because he's about to start his A-levels in the UK. But yeah, that's what he's up to. Regarding COVID restrictions, I think this is always such a fun topic to talk about. I think Mykonos and Greece in general has been very good compared to other European countries, because other European countries, for example France, has been really hard to travel to. I'm traveling later, but the only reason I can travel to France is because Luke is French and I can prove that, you know, we've lived together and stuff, so that's the only reason I can go there, whereas in Mykonos you can come here quite easily from other European countries. You guys know Dari, who I did a collaboration with in the past. She actually came to Greece. She went to Santorini fairly recently as well, and I feel like all of my friends are coming to Greece just because it's really the only place you can travel to freely. You do have to do a test before you come here and a test when you arrive, but other than that it's quite free. Everyone's attitude is very relaxed, just like in Russia, I feel like it's quite similar, the attitude towards it. But yeah, it's been very pleasant. You don't really have to wear like a mask anywhere apart from like on public transport, but even then you can literally just step on the bus wearing a mask and then take it off. I think that's what most people do here, but yeah, that's been very good and a breath of fresh air, especially when traveling, and it's quite stressful. Someone asks, is it easy for a foreigner to live in Russia? The question is more in the mental area, and regarding that I would say yes, but you have to adapt quite a lot because you're always pushed out of your comfort zone. Everything's in another language, and with me, I came with very little knowledge of any Russian, so I was really pushed to like learn some new words and to be able to communicate, because unlike Mykonos, like where I am right now, here everyone speaks English. Like you just go to a restaurant and they automatically speak English to you. Go to the beach, people automatically speak English to you. Like people don't speak Greek to you because they assume you're a foreigner. Whereas in Russia, even in Moscow, which is a very touristic area, it's the most touristic area in Russia, people will just automatically speak Russian to you, and you have to reply in Russian. Obviously, if you don't know, you can reply in English and hope that they speak English, but most people don't, or they have very little knowledge of it. So you are pushed out of your comfort zone regarding language, but also different things too, because you didn't grow up in Russia if you're coming as a foreigner, so you have to get used to the types of shops you must go to and what's best to do, what people are like when you first meet them. Everything's slightly different because it is a different country, and you just have to get used to that. You might get homesick if it's the first time you've moved abroad, but I personally didn't, because I moved to Italy and I was kind of used to being away from my family already when I moved to Russia. But I'm sure if you are interested in Russia, I think it takes a certain personality to be interested in Russia, because unlike other European countries like Greece or Italy, where it's all about aesthetic and it's just so attractive to everyone to move here, right? Russia isn't one of those places necessarily. I think people get interested for different reasons. Maybe that's because they want to be in a relationship with a Russian woman because of the looks, because of the different mentality, or they're interested in the language because it's more challenging than Italian or French or a language like that. So yeah, I think if you're already interested in moving to Russia, you'll be fine, because you probably have the right mentality to live there. If you're already learning the language, if you already have a huge interest in the history and stuff like that, you'll be fine. This is one of the top locations to visit in Mykonos, and I think you can see why. Here are the iconic windmills at the top of the hill, and these restaurants or apartments. I'm not sure even what they are after all these years, I don't know. There's also a restaurant just there, I don't know if you can see it, just there. This is also the best place to come and watch the sunset. As you can see, it comes all the way down. I think at the moment it goes down at like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. and it's so beautiful. You can sit here on the bench or over there too. As you can tell, everyone loves a motorcycle and a quad bike here. The road is full of them, and I feel like every tourist rents one out. Our locals also use them too. When you walk back from the windmills towards the bus stop, there is this ice cream place called Ice Cream. Very funny. I actually came here as a kid. I think it opened up when I was 10 years old or something, and we always go here almost every night we're here. So I think I'm gonna go in, get an ice cream, and answer some more questions. I got 2 flavours. This is the smallest quantity you can get. I forgot what flavours I got, but one of them is panna cotta. For one pot it's €4.50, and it's homemade. It's made of local Greek milk. It's very good. While I eat this, I'm going to answer a question. I hope you can hear me through this music. So someone asked me, tell me more about how you teach kids if you don't speak Russian. So as I mentioned earlier, I am learning Russian at the moment, but I work with a 2-year-old kid, and he knows some sentences and some words in Russian, but obviously he's not at the age where he speaks freely, so it's not that big of a problem. And I say he can speak a lot of English now since working with him, so we can communicate through physical actions, and that's how you teach kids a foreign language, is through physical things like eat. Do you want to eat? Yeah, yes or no? Okay, let's go. In the house, this sort of stuff. That's how you communicate with kids if you don't speak their same language. And actually that's the best way to teach a kid a foreign language. It's just completely immersing them in that language, just using actions and flashcards and that sort of stuff to teach them. So yeah, that's how I do it. It's super fun this way as well, just lots of games, lots of songs and dancing. I really love teaching kids English. The last topic I'm going to be talking about, because I got quite a few questions about it, is what I think of Russians. And one question in particular asked, do you think Russian people you met, young people in particular, are charmed by Western lifestyle, ideology, and look up to it in some kind of way? Do you think they are correct in thinking that the grass is greener on the other side? Yeah, I would really agree with this statement, because basically every young person that I've met so far in Moscow has said that they really want to move to England, and that they are shocked that I would ever want to move to Russia or Moscow. They're like, what? Why would you leave England? I want to move to England. Because they think England is this amazing place where all your dreams come true. And to be honest, I think everyone thinks this. Like, I thought this about going to Italy. Like, once I go to Italy, my life will be beautiful, it will be perfect. It will be all these things that it is in movies, where it just isn't the case. And especially when I went to Italy, I realised that it just matters of who you are around, like the people. If the people that you love aren't around you. So for me, I wasn't around Luke, so I really was kind of sad in Italy, even though it's a beautiful country. So that's why I ended up leaving. It wasn't because anything was wrong with the country, it was just because the people really matter. And I think young people everywhere, not just Russia, need to think this before they plan on moving to England. Everything isn't going to be like these English movies that you watch. People are not like this. You're going to come across chavs, you're going to come across lots of problems, employment problems and all sorts. Everything is still the same in England, but I do love England. I haven't necessarily got anything bad to say about it. Everywhere is different, and you've got to find the country that really kind of works with you. And for me, as you might be able to tell, Russia works for me, especially for my work as well, for my channel, because I did lots of videos in England, my channel didn't grow much. I did videos in Italy, my channel didn't grow much, and then I went to Russia and it kind of bloomed, and that was really unexpected for me. So yeah, I think people just need to realise that England isn't this perfect place that is going to fix all your problems. You're still going to have the same emotional problems, you're still going to have these maybe self-conscious things that you have about yourself. They're still going to exist wherever you are in the world. But yeah, I personally prefer kind of the more traditional ways of thinking, and that is what it's like in Russia. Maybe not so much in Moscow, but the rest of Russia have more traditional views of like relationships and that sort of stuff, and I personally agree with that. So that's another reason why Russia works for me and England doesn't work for me. So that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed exploring Mykonos with me. I've only got a few days left here now until I go to France. I really hope I'm going to be able to go to France, because of all the things I mentioned earlier, it's very difficult to get there. So it's very possible I go to the airport and they're like, no, you can't come in, because it's not like an urgent enough reason to come into the country. So we'll have to see, but that is my plan so far. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you do give it a big thumbs up. I know it was something slightly different, but I thought I'd keep it Russia focused, as that is the reason you guys are subscribed to this channel. But if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do so, as I post a new video every single Sunday all about living and working in Russia. So yeah, see you next week for another video, which hopefully will be in France. So yeah, see you next Sunday for another video. Bye.